What's your nutrition like?
So I'm a little bit controversial. I'm mostly
Whoa,
protein.
I like controversial.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm mostly carnivore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
What's mostly like 80%?
I would say 90%.
Really?
Yeah,
Just meat?
yeah.
What kind of meat? Are you a hunter? Are you do you get
No,
your
I'm
own
not.
meat?
I'll let others gather it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Basically, lean steak is my main diet.
really?
Fish and eggs, cheese, anything comes from an animal. I try to avoid pork doesn't settle well with me. I try to avoid pork. But the lean meats, poultry, chicken, uh, red meat is not a bad meat. Uh, and all my numbers have been great, you know,
Like,
uh,
cholesterol
all
numbers and
that.
that kind of thing?
Mhm.
How
Yeah.
how long have you been mostly carnivore?
About 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now why'd you decide to do that?
It was mostly my wife. She challenged me.
Okay.
She started it, and of course, I just kind of because she's the
She
one that
got
fixes the food,
she got
right?
tired of baking pies for you?
Yeah. Hey, if I ate pies, I'd be 300 pounds. So I was borderline diabetic, and that was another reason.
Okay.
Yeah. So my blood sugar's been normal now, and everything normalized. So it's been good.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of,
you
have you seen Sean Baker? That's kind of where we took off on. He has a big podcast on eating meat and other things. So yeah,
I've heard about it, I haven't seen it.
yeah.
Yeah. And so the other 10%, is that veggies or grains or
So veggies about killed me. So
whoa, what do you mean?
I have a congenital bowel syndrome where I had a section of my small bowel that was not normal. And one day I ate some broccoli and ended up in the hospital with a bowel obstruction, surgery,
Jeez.
removed 2 feet of my bowel. Um, and so I always say vegetables almost killed me. And yeah,
Wow.
so
You don't hear
uh,
that every day.
no, I think vegetables are overrated. I really do. And I think all the people talk about where you get your macros, where you get your micros. I think the animal has an unusual way and's been possessed with the ability to process all the grains they eat and the grass they eat into all the micronutrients we need. And so that's kind of the main thrust and theory behind the carnivore diet.
The thing behind the carnivore diet, however, is that you're supposed to eat the animal head to tail. So you're supposed to eat the organ meats. Are
Yes,
you eating liver and heart and whatever?
in disguised ways.
Okay.
We get I think from New Zealand we get these processed tablets that have liver. That's how I get my liver. I
Okay.
just can't stand liver.
Me too.
Yeah,
Oh my God. As a
yeah.
matter of fact, I tried a couple of months ago. I used to eat liver as a kid. My mom would make us liver.
Oh, me too.
And I've even had raw liver. In Lebanon, some restaurants will serve that as an appetizer.
Yeah.
Raw meat, like raw kibbeh. I don't know if you're familiar too much with the Lebanese foods, but like raw kibbeh and kafta and liver, and that's an appetizer.
Yeah.
And so I've had raw liver. I never liked it as a kid, but I've had it a couple of times. But my mom would always make liver, and we ate it. I didn't think anything of it. Chicken liver, beef liver, and then I don't know, like a decade went by, and I didn't have any liver, and I started doing some research on nutrition, and one of my sisters is a nutritionist, and we talked about, she was telling me she's like going through nutrition school. When they talk about a superfood or, like, where do you find these vitamins? Where do you find these minerals? She's like, liver is always there. Like it checks every single box of every vitamin you could think of.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's pretty incredible. I'm like, I used to always eat liver. Let me eat some liver. And I got some and I tried to cook it a few months ago. And I ate, I think I swallowed like the first bite and I had to spit out the second bite. And I tried again like a week ago. I was at Whole Foods and I saw some liver. I'm like, let me take another shot at this. And I was really convincing myself that like, this is good. I can do this. I'm just gonna eat a little piece. I had literally like three little, little cubes that I cooked, and I could not even eat one.
Yeah.
It was just tasted like metal. It just, ugh.
Yeah. Well, all those nutrients are in there. Is probably what makes it taste so bad.
But like, don't you think that we're supposed to, I don't know. I feel like if something is that off-putting, maybe you're not supposed to eat it.
I know, right?
like rotten fruit. If you smell rotten fruit, there's a system
built
that,
in.
that tells you, hey,
Yeah.
don't eat that. That's rotten. And so if you're having that kind of reaction to a certain meat, maybe we're not supposed to be eating it. We're not wolves, like when a wolf kills
Actually,
an
our
animal.
digestive system's more related to a wolf than it is a monkey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to be eating more meat.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what are all these vegans doing?
Poor health.
They
don't feel well.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
There's dozens and dozens of testimonials about prior vegans just not feeling well.
I believe it. I have a friend of mine who's a vegan, and one
Apologize to
time,
all the vegans out there.
well, I mean, he swears that it's he's felt the best ever since he went vegan. But then he had been vegan for about a year, and we were at the gym, and I ran into another friend of mine who's a doctor, and so they met, and then we were, me and my friend were the doctor were off to the side, and he goes, "Hey, is your friend all right? He looks sick." I'm like, I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, he said something about his Adam's apple and his skin color, and he told me, I don't know, he looks like he has, I don't know what it is." I was like, "Well, he's vegan." He goes, "Oh, okay, that explains it. He's got all these deficiencies and this and that."
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. We didn't do any blood work on him or anything, but I thought it was, it was interesting that a doctor took one look at him and said, "Oh, he looks sick."
Yeah. Yeah.
But he swears it makes him better. He swears he's stronger. He watched that documentary. What's it called? What's that document? I don't remember. Where like they have all these anecdotes of these athletes that are like, "Oh, I'm a power lifter and I used to deadlift 400 pounds and then I went vegan and now I'm deadlifting 600 pounds. I had a 50% increase in strength." I'm like, man, if all I had to do was eat salads
Vegetables,
and I'd deadlift 600 pounds, I'll do it right now.
Yeah,
Like, come
that's
on.
not going to happen.
That's just goofy.
Yeah.
And then it came out that documentary, Forks Over Knives, where they literally said in that documentary that you're better off eating a candy bar than a chicken breast. It's like, that's a bunch of horse shit for sure. And then it came out that they've been paid off by some sugar companies.
Wow.
To
Follow
say these
the money.
things. Yeah, exactly. Follow the money, right?
Yeah.
That's always the case.
Yeah.
And so you're not big on veggies, fruits too?
I love fruits, but they're high in glucose.
Oh, sure.
So I choose my time and place to eat them mostly in the morning when I know I'm going to expend energy during the day.
Yeah.
If I know I'm going to have a heavy day workout, maybe 2 workouts that day or just real heavy day, I don't mind having a few carbs in the morning because I know I'll burn them.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little bit of carbs after a workout or something.
Sure.
But people make fun of me at the gym. They say, "What did you have to eat today? Steak?" Yep.
Yeah.
So, but there's other members that have converted over to mostly carnivore. I'm not going to name any names, but some world-class record-setting athletes, and they feel much better. Their health is better. They're doing better. So there's something to it.
That's fascinating. Yeah, I like a little bit of carbs. I like some grains. I like some lentils. I actually, if I could, I would be eating 90% carbs, like bread and rice and pasta. I love that stuff. Potato chips. Ooh, I love potato chips. If I open
Pasta is my weakness.
Oh yes, pasta. If I open up a bag of kettle cooked salt and vinegar chips or jalapeno chips, oh my goodness,
the bag is missing.
It's game over. Yeah, or grilled cheese sandwiches. Like that's one of my favorite things. Like if I could be healthy, eating whatever I want, it'd be 80%, 90% grilled cheese sandwiches, spaghetti, potato chips,
tater tots.
I mean, my life would be so much easier. I always think like every night I'm cooking dinner and I'm like grilling chicken or steak or something. And I'm like, I'd rather just be eating a grilled cheese sandwich, or like cheese and crackers and little peppered salamis, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like a charcuterie board.
Yeah.
That's my stuff.
Yeah.
Anything that's crunchy or salty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love a good steak too, though.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I could go 80%, 90% carnivore. Maybe.
It's a challenge. When you go into it, they say just give it a 30-day challenge. And
So the 30-day thing, that's what is often referred to as the honeymoon phase, where like anytime, not anytime, but a lot of times when you take somebody off their standard diet, whatever it may be, probably not very healthy. If we're talking about like the average person's American diet, even people who are more health conscious, probably still taking in a lot of crappy foods that
mhm,
aren't good for you.
mhm,
And you take them off of that and you put them on any kind of whole foods diet, whether it's vegan or carnivore or anything, as long as they're eating whole foods, nutritionally rich foods, they're going to feel better for the first month.
oh, yeah,
Now, what happens long term is a different story. And
right,
that's when you need somebody who's been doing it for years,
yeah,
who's doing blood work, who's actually on
yeah,
top of that stuff
yeah,
to get some good data.
yeah,
But it's probably like really, really impossible to do a large scale controlled study on that kind of thing. Cause I mean, you'd have to get
and to
thousands of people from
and how
all.
do you control it?
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, so,
You're going to monitor what everybody's eating for years.
yeah,
And, you got to
yeah,
go across all ethnicities and age groups and lifestyles. Yeah. That's a tough one. I think really, I think eating intuitively is smart. I train intuitively too most of the time.
mhm,
Um, but I feel like if it's not making you feel bad, like your body will tell you.
oh, yeah,
If like some
yeah,
people just cannot eat cheese, it messes them up. Some
yeah,
people cannot tolerate wheat.
yep,
Like you have a gluten intolerance.
right.
But if it's not bothering you, for the most part, I mean, if you shouldn't be eating French fries every day just because they don't upset your stomach. But
Yeah,
um, you probably don't need to eliminate a food group if it's not bothering, if it's not causing you any problems. That's my
it's
take
all
on
in
it.
moderation, I think.
Kinda.
Yeah,
I'm not really a moderation kind of guy. For me, it's like
yeah.
it's all or nothing. Like I don't do the whole like, oh, just have a bite of cheesecake. It's like, no, either I'm gonna eat the whole cheesecake, or
Nothing but the
or I'm
cheesecake.
not gonna touch the
Yeah,
cheesecake. It's all or
yeah,
nothing.